Nation, folks ran in Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday in style, but the party didn't get any bigger than right here in the capital city. ABC News Channel 20's Carl Madonna is live at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum to let us know how Springfield will celebrate his 200th first this Friday. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Jessica. Yeah, 2009 was a huge year for Honest Abe, but that's nothing compared to what these folks here at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum have planned for this year. Let's check in now with Communications Manager Dave Blanchette. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, Carl.
I made 2009 sound like it wasn't that big. It was actually. It was huge.
It was huge.
Tell us about 2010, though. What do you have planned to celebrate his birthday this Friday?
Well, starting today, actually, we have a special artifact display here at the museum, and it runs through the 15th, and we've got a coin forum tonight, which is a preview to the debut of the new penny tomorrow at 9:30 here at the museum. U.S. Mint's going to be here, a huge ceremony. We've also got an overnight viewing vigil at the museum. Some other artifacts will be on display tomorrow evening that folks can see. And don't forget that we have an author at Rachel Lindsay Home talking about race relations tomorrow night as well. Friday is the big day, though. It's the big day. We have storytelling at the old state capitol to kick things off. Lincoln Tomb Pilgrimage happens every year. That's at 10:30. Come back here to the library. Author Richard Fox is talking about his Lincoln book at 11:15. For tickets, go to presidentlincoln.org. Then we've got a time capsule sealing ceremony here at 1 p.m. at the museum, where artifacts from 2009 will be sealed to be up 100 years from now. And then, of course, in the evening is the Lincoln Banquet. President Obama spoke there last year. We've got Harold Holzer this year.
Dave Blanchette, it's always a pleasure. Great spokesman, too, isn't he? Very good. Dave, thank you so much. Coming up here in about a half hour, we're going to check back in from the museum and take a look at some special new artifacts, like Dave said, that are on display today. We'll send it back to you, Jessica.
All right, thank you so much, Carl. Now, for a complete list of events going on to celebrate Abe's 201st birthday, just visit our website at wics.com/webwatch. Well, on Friday, our nation's 16th president celebrates his 201st birthday. And while the memory of Abraham Lincoln can be read in books and seen on TV, there is no better way to understand his life than with tangible items. And this week you can do just that right here in the capital city, but only for a limited time. ABC News Channel 20's Carl Madonna is live at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum to let us know what's on display and why you should check it out. Hey, Carl.
Good morning, Jessica. There are numerous one-of-a-kind artifacts on display here all this week at the Presidential Museum, including some things you'll only see here in Springfield. Joining us now to tell us about what's here at the museum is State Historian Tom Schwartz. Tom, it's early. I still can't talk, buddy.
That's okay, Carl.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Thank you so much for waking up early with us. Tell us what is on display. We're going to get right over to it because you have some amazing stuff here for people to come check out, right?
World-class museum deserves world-class materials. The foundation purchased the Taper Collection, which is the largest collection of Lincoln materials. What you see is a desk made by Abraham Lincoln's father, Thomas, and Abraham may have helped him on it. A collection of books by Washington Irving that Mary Lincoln purchased and inscribed. Then you have a clock that was in the Lincoln Herndon Law Office. And
that still ticks, by the way.
It still ticks. It works, and it even has a little mouse hole chewed in the back, so it was a home of many a mouse. And finally, you've got the Council of War, which is a sculpture that was done in 1868 by John Rogers, purchased by Abraham Lincoln's son, Robert, who bronzed it and kept it as his own kind of personal tribute to his father. It shows Abraham Lincoln sitting looking at a map with Ulysses Grant and Secretary of War Edwin Stanton.
Tom, so much here to see. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I bought a clock 2 years ago. It doesn't work. That one was made, what, 100 and... Anyway.
Circa 1850.
Circa 1850. Coming up in our next half hour, Jessica, we're going to check in with another state historian to tell you about some more artifacts you're going to be able to see here after hours. We'll send it back to you.
All right, sounds real good. Thanks, Carl. Again, those artifacts go on display today and will be available until Monday. And for residents living in Brown, Scott, and Cass counties, you get half off admission all throughout the month of February. This Friday, Abraham Lincoln rings in his 201st birthday, and like always, Springfield will celebrate it in a big way. At our last half hour, state historian Tom Schwartz let us in on a week of activities where folks can view artifacts from our nation's 16th president. But there's also a special display just for you night owls. ABC News Channel 20's Carl Madonna is live at the Presidential Library Museum with all the details. Hey, Carl.
Good morning once again, Jessica. Yeah, we've been here all morning long at the Presidential Museum telling you about one-of-a-kind artifacts that are on display all week long to celebrate Abe's 201st. But tomorrow night, there's a real special treat going on right here at the museum. Joining us to tell us about it is Mr. James Cornelius, a Lincoln curator. How are you, sir?
Good, Carl.
Again, thanks so much for waking up early with us. What is going on here tomorrow night?
Well, tomorrow night, Carl, we're having a sneak peek of a big show that's opening in October. We're going to put out a half-dozen objects that will be in that show, and it's based on the Doris Kearns Goodwin best-selling book, Team of Rivals. It's about that first few months of Lincoln's time after he was elected and when he took office, when Civil War was brewing. And we've got this fabulous gold-headed walking stick, for example, with California Gold Rush gold on the head of it, that was involved in a slavery duel in California. It was given then by a senator from California to Lincoln when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. We'll have the Emancipation out on display as well as that cane. We've got the inkwell that Lincoln used to write his first inaugural address, and a couple of other things. There's the South Carolina secession announcement when they split from the Union right after Lincoln was elected. We have that reproduced here, but we're putting out the original. It's very fragile, it's very rare. This is going to be very exciting.
Now, are there tickets for this, or is it free to the public?
This is free to the public. It's tomorrow night, that's Thursday, from 5:30 p.m. till 10 p.m.
Excellent. James Cornelius, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Carl.
All right, in our next half hour, we're going to have even more from the museum. We're going to tell you about the new Lincoln pennies, so stay tuned. Jessica and Joe will send things back to you.
All right, thanks, Carl. Again, the artifact viewing vigil is tomorrow from 5:30 to 10 at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum. It's also a chance for you to preview their brand new exhibit titled Team of Rivals. ABC News Shelter's Carl Madonna is live at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Museum to give us a sneak peek as what to expect if you're headed downtown. Hey, Carl.
Good morning once again, Jessica. The dress that I spilled that coffee on will be just fine. I used a lot of creamer, so it'll wash right out. At least I hope so. Anyway, in August of 2009, the third Lincoln penny was released and brought out collectors from just about everywhere. And this year, of course, they expect it to be no different. It'll be the release of the fifth and final in the Lincoln series. And joining us now to tell us more about it is the director of the U.S. Mint, Mr. Ed Moy. How are you, sir?
Good to meet you, Carl.
Good to meet you, sir. How long you get ready for a big event here? When is this, the big reveal?
This will be tomorrow at 9:30 here at the museum.
And tell me where you said the fifth and final, right?
Yes, fifth and final. In 2009, Congress asked us to put out 4 Lincoln pennies once every 3 months, commemorating a different part of Lincoln's life. So I was out here in Springfield in August, celebrating the one where he stood in front of the Illinois State Capitol. But right now, we're putting out the fifth and last one for 2010, and this should last for the next 49 years.
Mm-hmm. Can you, without giving away too much, tell us about this penny?
Yeah, it's very, very special. On the obverse, or the front of the penny, it'll still be the portrait of Lincoln, but on the back it changes, and this time it'll have what's called a Union shield, which is very popular since the 1780s, but especially during the Civil War. It's a shield with 13 vertical stripes indicating the 13 colonies, and across the top is a horizontal bar which represents the federal government. It says E pluribus unum on it.
And every person that comes out here tomorrow will be able to walk away with one, right?
Well, everyone under 18, so you're not qualified.
Ah, Ed. I was hoping you bring some for me. You could buy rolls too, right? U.S. Bank will be here selling these?
Yes, U.S. Bank will be here. They'll be able to exchange dollar per dollar. So the minimum is 2 rolls and the maximum is 6 rolls. But if we have stuff left over, then people can go through the line again.
Ed Moy, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You enjoy the rest of the museum. And folks, again, it is tomorrow morning at 9:30. You can get your hands on the fifth and final installment. Jessica and Joe will send things back to you. All
right, thank you so much, Carl. Now, for those who want a special preview of the release, Director Moy will be on hand to answer questions during a coin forum. That takes place tonight at 6:30 at the Presidential Library and Museum.